Welcome everyone to the February webinar. I can't believe we're already at the end of February, going into March. This year is going so quickly. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we will be focusing on all of our iPad solutions. We're very excited to have so many to choose from. And I'm Kimberly Klein, and Christopher Caswell will also be on in just a minute. He is in Sweden, and he has a big setup there with everything to where you'll be able to see everything live. The name of the webinar today is iPad and LVI Video Magnifiers. The background is like a turquoise color, and then the lettering is black and bold, the first line for the title, and then you come down to the text where we have our information. I'm Kimberly Klein, I'm Director of Sales. Christopher Caswell is Export Sales Manager, and some of you have met him, and we work together as a team. The learning objectives for today, so now I've changed the slide. It's a bright white background. It's got like a bullseye with a dart in the center because we're going to make sure we hit it right on target for these learning objectives. But you will learn how an iPad can be wirelessly or directly connected to the MagniLink Wi-Fi cameras. The benefits and the drawbacks of connections, and some people prefer it to be wireless and some people prefer to be connected, and we'll talk about the benefits of both and the kind of, I wouldn't say drawbacks, but kind of the differences between both, because they're both great solutions, but some people prefer one over the other. And so we're going to really hone into the solutions and what makes them stand out and why you would choose one over the other. We'll also be able to discuss the LVI Video Magnifier cameras available for the iPad user with low vision. And we have actually 4 different options to show you. So we're really excited about that. And then you will learn to synthesize the information, put it all together, and then come up with a recommendation for the best alternative for you or for your client. We changed the slide again, and now we've got a turquoise background again with the black lettering, and we've got 2 different pictures. And what we're focusing on this slide is the MagniLink Wi-Fi and the MagniLink Wi-Fi Cam. So these are 2 of the solutions. In the top upper right-hand corner, we're actually showing the MagniWifi, and we're showing it with the S. The MagniWifi is a box that allows you to have a battery inside, and it also allows you to connect wirelessly to your iPad. When you're doing that, you're going to use one of the MagniLink cameras, whether it's an MLS. It also would work with the Zip, with a connection board, or a Pro. But the MLS would be the most portable solution. So we have a picture of the MLS, and then we have the actual iPad in a stand, and it's just got the back part open, so it's standing up. So it's just showing you how portable that is, and that is one of the solutions. So the MagniWifi, you simply plug in one of our video magnifiers. Again, here we're showing it with an S because it's the most portable. Christopher will be showing it today with the S as well. The bottom picture has a silhouette of a student at a desk, and they're using the MagniLink Wi-Fi cam. It looks very similar, but with this one, the camera is included. It is a camera that's on a bendable arm. If you're familiar with our tab product, it's the same style of camera, and you can bend it up and down. And the camera, of course, will do distance, document, and self-viewing. So this one comes with a camera, the other one does not. So let's now talk about the minimum system requirements. For both of these products, the minimum system requirements is it has to be an iPad 9th generation or newer, and the iPad has to support iPad OS 15 or higher. So that's the minimum. But of course, the minimum, you are going to, again, this is wireless, so you may have some delay. So we recommend system requirements, iPad Pro. It doesn't have to be a 12.9. It can be any size because it's a lean-to solution. But a lot of people are using 12.9 because they're working with people with low vision. But it can be any size. It could even be a mini, iPad mini. There's not a problem with that because you're not securing it up in a stand. So whatever the size is not, doesn't have to be a specific size. But it does need, for recommended, it needs to have an M1 chipset or newer. And then the iPad needs to support iPad OS 16 or higher. So some of the iPads, the older ones, don't support that. So with that system requirement, you're going to get a much faster result, and you're going to be much more pleased with just the outcome of the product. We do have prices listed on the PowerPoint. I want to preface that they're US prices. I know we have some folks on here from Canada. In fact, I just got back from Canada from last week and had a great trip there, but these are US pricing. So if you get the MagniLink Wi-Fi cam, that's the whole unit all together with the camera, the retail price in the US is $3,695. If you get the MagniWifi box, meaning you're going to use it with the S because you already have that camera, you get the box that has the battery, the software, everything all together, it's $1,395. So a lot of information on that slide, but again, you guys will get this PowerPoint. What we're going to be introducing today, which is brand new, it's a newer product that we just released at ATIA, is the iTAB solution. So we switched slides. Now we have a bright orange background. We have a couple pictures. I'm going to start with the one in the upper right. We have a teacher pointing to the board. We have two students sitting in the class, and the student on the left-hand side has the iTAB on the desk, and they're pointing the camera to the board. So it's a very small solution. It's all compact all together. This is a wired solution versus wireless. Those of you that are familiar with the Tab product that we sell with the Surface Pro tablet, this product looks extremely similar to that, except it holds the iPad instead of the Surface Pro tablet. With this, size does matter. We only have two sizes for the stands. We have 12.9 and 11, because again, we figured people with low vision are going to be using a larger iPad. So the bottom picture has an actual person using it with a 12.9, and that particular person, again, is looking at the board, and she has the screen split as well, which is pretty cool, and we'll be showing you that live. You can split the screen, you can do distance, and then you could also be using the iPad camera and be looking at something underneath it. So that's kind of cool that you can do that. So we're going to give some pricing that's in a little chart below. The pricing, again, is for retail US. So the first pricing that we're going to give, whether you get it for the 11 or the 12.9, if you get the iTAB, which has the camera and everything, it's $3,695. And if you just get the stand, meaning you already have an S, but you're wanting to use the stand, and I'll talk about that more in a minute, why you want to do that, but the price is $1,895. And those of you that are listening saying, hey, I'd love to do that solution, I want to get the S and the stand, we are offering some bundle pricing. If you buy the S and the stand at the same time, the pricing would be US $5,590. Okay, now we're going to talk about specs, and I'm going to change to the next slide. The next slide has a turquoise background, and it's got a chart, and then it talks about some of the specifications for this product. And then there's also a picture up. It says iPad Pro supercharged by M2. So we're talking about an M2 processor. So now let's talk about the iTAB. Again, whether you have an 11 or 12.9, basically that just depends on the stand that you purchase. But basically, it's the same pricing, and those are the two that we support. Now with the iTAB, whether you're using the 11 or the 12.9, you do need to have an M2 chip. On the 11 inch, it's a fourth generation 2022 with an M2 chip. If you're using the 12.9, it's a sixth generation 2022, again, with an M2 chip. Again, you'll have these specifications, and if you have further questions on that, please just reach out to me or Catherine, and we can get you that information. If you're using it with a direct connect, it does have to have a USB-C connection, and it does have to be able to support iPad OS 17 or the latest. I think it's 17 point something right now. So these are the specifications for the new iTAB product. So if you're using it with an actual S, which Christopher will show, you can have the S right there, the camera, and you're still using the stand. And you might say, well, why would I need the stand? I already have a stand for my iPad. That's an option. You can do that. You can use your MLS and you can use your stand that you have because the software is up on the App Store. It's called MagniLink Viewer and it's free. So that is an option. The benefit of having our stand, there's several benefits. First of all, when you're using a direct connect, whether it's our iTAB camera with the distance camera or the S, it's going to draw quite a bit of power from the actual iPad because it's a direct connect. And if you're using both cameras, our distance camera and the camera on the unit, you're doing video and you're doing a lot of things like that. It could be an hour and a half that you have with it. I have had some people tell me that already have their units that they're only using the distance camera and they were able to get 2 to 2.5 hours, and that's great. But still, that's not going to get you through a 6-hour day at school or for work. So with our stand, we have an actual hub built in it, and Christopher will show this to you. There's a few benefits of that. The main benefit is you're able to charge the iPad while you're using it, and it's built right into the stand. We also provide you a 65-watt charger brick that goes with it. We don't sell the iPads, but we still provide the charger for that because of the fact when you get your iPad, sometimes like mine, I got it, I think it's got a 25-watt, and you want something more powerful so that it can actually be charging it while you're using it and getting a charge and being able to maintain the charge that's there, to where if you use something that's 25 or something like that, you're not going to get what you're looking for. So we have all this built into the stand, and we do provide to the power supply, even though we're not selling iPads. So they do not come with an iPad. And I know that's a little confusing because we had a lot of people say, well, it's just like the tab product that you have and you guys provide the Surface Pro tablet. On this, we do not. You have to have your own iPad. So if you're using it with just the stand and the camera, again, we support MLS, ML Pro, and the Zip with a connection board. With this solution, you can use an M1 or an M2. So we do work with an M1 or an M2 on this one. But again, your iPad has to be USB with a C connector, and it has to support iPad iOS 17 or higher. And there's a picture of a girl using it with an MLS actual camera that we have there with a book underneath it to be able to look at the book and be able to look at the board at the same time. She has a split screen. The price on this is $18.95 for the stand and the hub and the charger and everything that comes with that. And then again, you're using your MLS. Okay, so then we show the picture of the iTAB. I've switched the slide again. It's now an orange background. The girl at the top is using the iTAB with the bendable camera. And then this person at the bottom is using just the MLS with it. So it's just some different pictures to where you can see there's different ways to use it. You don't have to use our stand. You also can just have the basically, if you've got the cover on the iPad and all of that keeps it safe, it has a little pop-out thing in the back, and you can just have that. And I misspoke. The girl at the top actually is using an MLS. So now we're talking about the product without the camera that's built into it. So great product either way. All right, I'm going to stop, and we're going to go to Christopher. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to go live, and then I'm going to work on getting Christopher pinned so it doesn't bounce back and forth.
Let me know when that's done, Kimberly, and let me know that I am in the spotlight.
Right. I know we need that, don't we? It's not giving me the same thing on the iPad as it's giving me. So let me try it over here. All right, perfect. You are pinned, sir. It's all you.
All right, let me. All right, so you see the products, Kimberly, on the table, and you hear me well?
I do, and I just want to say I see that someone raised their hand, and we'll address that in just a minute. I want Christopher to be able to go ahead and go live. If you have your hand raised and you have a question that you could put in the chat, that would be extremely helpful because I could answer that while Christopher is showing all the products. It's all you, Christopher.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Kimberly, for all that information. My name is Christopher Caswell. As Kimberly said, I work here at LVI as the Export Sales Manager, and I have been doing so over the last 8 years. And between 2018 and 2019, I got the opportunity to move with my family to southern part of Florida and be a part of the LVI America starting process when we first opened and established LVI America back in 2018. Behind me on this table, I have 3 iPad product setups that I will cover in my part of this webinar. I will be, as Kimberly mentioned, focusing more on the hardware part and the physical parts of the product, and then Kimberly will take you deeper into the software of the product. When we talk about our iPad products, the various variants that we have, they are all using the same software. So what one can do, the other ones can do as well when it comes to the software part and features. So let me walk behind my table here, and I will start sharing and telling you that all of these products comes in a carrying case that I'm holding up now in front of the camera. It's a black hard-sided carrying case. You do have a handle, you do have a shoulder strap, you do have a large pocket on the back side of the case. You got orange zippers that are giving you good contrast, so they are easier to find. When you open the case, you do have some black and some orange color inside, giving you some contrast to orient to either store the product or take out the product, or laptop, iPad, documents. So they all come in that carrying case. Going back behind the table here, I will start with the product called the MagniLink Wi-Fi Cam. This is the product that connects to your iPad wirelessly via Wi-Fi. You do so by taking your iPad, you go into the settings of your iPad and you search for the available internet or Wi-Fi network, and you will find the MagniLink_Wi-Fi_ serial number of the device that you have turned on, and it will show up as an available network. You press on it, you type in the password that's placed on a silver sticker underneath of the product. You type in the password and then you connect. You download the software from App Store on any of these devices, and then you are ready to start the application and you are ready to go. If on this product you want to connect to the internet at the same time as you're using the Wi-Fi connected camera, you can do so also thanks to a Wi-Fi dongle that we have connected on the side that I will show you in just a minute. This product is battery operated, so you get 5.5 hours of battery time on the actual product. You can use it while it's charging. This product weighs 6 pounds. Kimberly probably mentioned in her very informative part that on this product, you are wirelessly connected. So you could either use, I will have you come in a little bit here. You could either use it sitting while the iPad is placed in the stand of the product. So if I remove the iPad to show you the actual product. So you have in front of the product, you have orange tabs or holders one on each side so that I can use the product as a left-handed or a right-handed person. And that's holding my iPad nicely in place. And then I use the software that Kimberly will show you in just a minute. All of these variants, recording stuff. There we go. The camera is mounted on a flex arm, so you can have it more or less in any angle. You can have it coming out further away from the product. If you're working with larger objects or for bookbinders, you can have it coming really close to the device. If you have limited space, you can actually have it coming in front of the device. Any way you want to adjust this flex arm. You grab the camera and you can look in distance viewing and swing the camera around to look anywhere you want in the room and quickly come back to take notes or continue to work with your document, for example. That's the Wi-Fi cam. I will push it a little bit more towards the end of the table to give the next product a little bit more room. Next product that I have in the middle of the three product is the MagniLink iTAB. The MagniLink iTAB is based on a successful product we have had for a couple of years working with a Windows-based tablet, the Microsoft Surface Pro tablet. So we have reused that concept, now also working with iPad. So you have a foldable stand and you have a camera. So the foldable stand becomes really thin, easy to carry thanks to the side of the stand that becomes a nice handle. And the external camera looks the same as on the previous product. It's the same camera on a flex arm that you plug in on the back of the product easily. If I have you come in quite a lot on this product, I will explain what we did with the stand. It's probably hard to show via video, but on the back of the stand, we mounted a hub. The reason for the hub is to give us 2 available USB-C ports on the top, one for the camera and one for almost anything you'd like. If you'd like to charge your phone, if you like to plug in a USB drive, there is one port available for that. On this side, there is a third USB-C port. That's the one you will be using for charging your iPad. So thanks to this hub, you can charge your iPad while you're using it at the same time. The hub is connected on the left side of the iPad via the hub USB-C cable. So let's see what we got here. And now I connected us back. I plugged back the camera and then we are back live here on the iPad. Going back to the previous product, the MagniLink Wi-Fi cam, on this specific setup, I do have a iPad Pro 12.9-inch 5th generation with the M1 chipset. This iTAB, I do have a 12.9-inch Pro with the 6th generation, an M2 chipset. Having you come with me towards the end of the table where my third product is sitting, here we have our MagniLink S. Our MagniLink S is a product that you in 3 quick steps collapses. It's a 4.2-pound product. This product is more different towards the other two because this product has an HDMI port, so I can connect it directly to a monitor or TV. And with the USB-C, I can connect it to a Windows PC, a Mac, a Chromebook, and now also directly to an iPad. Any platform I'm connecting to, PC, Mac, Chromebook, or iPad, it takes the power from the computer or the iPad. So there is no battery mounted on this one that you need to worry about. All softwares are included in the purchase of this product. So if I have an iPad at school and something else at home, or if I have a PC now at school, but I'm thinking I will be getting an iPad next school season, I know this camera is a go-to because it covers all those platforms. In this setup, I have this camera that when it's unfolded, it stands with its legs nicely on the desk. The arm swings around in both directions, so I can be a left-handed or right-handed person, left or right side of the iPad or computer. The camera is also doing distance viewing. I simply just grab the camera and point anywhere I want. I can also do self-viewing with any of these cameras. And in this setup, I do have my iPad Pro 11-inch with I do believe it's the M1 chipset on this one. I have it mounted on any, let's say, third-party little stand that's probably purchased on Amazon or something similar to that. But this gives me a really nice setup here where I can work very ergonomically because it's coming up very close to where I am when I'm standing up. I have the camera next to it. And that's another solution for someone that's looking for a video magnifier solution for iPad. Kimberly, are there any questions so far?
Yes, there was a great question. Someone said, do the products need to be plugged in while working? And I wrote the answer. I said, no, they do not. You can use them without them being plugged in, but having them plugged in allows them to charge while you're using it. And again, the battery life on each product's a little different. The MagniLink Wi-Fi cam and the MagniWifi, which is the one that's not plugged in, the one that is allowing you to use it wirelessly, that box fully charged is going to last 5.5 to 6 hours. And so you don't have to have it plugged in to use it, but if you have it plugged in, of course, it's charging. And then the iTAB products, whether you get it with the MLS camera and use it, or if you just get the iTAB with the distance camera, again, it depends on what you're using. If you're using both cameras, because you can split the screen, and I'll show that in a minute, and you don't have it plugged in, it could be as little as 1.5 hours. Again, I'm having people telling me 2.5. I even had somebody tell me the other day 3 hours. So it just depends on how you're using it and what you're doing. But we built the charging into the stand for the iTAB because of the fact there is quite a bit of battery draw on the iPad when you're directly connecting in. That's how it is right now. And I just wanted everybody to have that information. If there's other questions before I get into the software, please put them into the chat so we can answer those. So Christopher showed you all three, but really there's 4 products because you could take just to have the MagniWifi, the box, and have the S as well with that, or again, the Zip or the Pro. So each product we have has 2 versions. You can use it with cameras you already have. We believe in you already made an investment, and we want you to be able to utilize that and be able to then put it in with the actual products that we have. So any questions on the different style of products or why one product would be better than the other? So I want to give you a couple ideas on that. The MagniLink Wi-Fi and the MagniLink Wi-Fi cam is wireless. So Christopher could take that iPad and set it in the room. So if you have a student that's too cool for school and they don't want anything on their desk but the iPad, they could do that. Now, of course, if they've got the camera pointed to the board, that's great. They can zoom in, they can zoom out, they can change colors, they can do OCR, they can do all of those things. But if they need to move the camera, yes, they're going to have to get up to do that unless it's on the teacher's desk, and then the teacher could move it if she wants them looking at specific things. So it's not a motorized camera. It is just the regular camera. So he's zooming in and zooming out, and that's not connected at all. So that's for a benefit of just having an iPad on a desk. So there's many reasons for that. I mentioned too cool for school. You could have a limited space. You could just be in an environment where it's more conducive just to be able to have the iPad. You need to move around the room like Christopher was just doing. So then we come back to, is there any drawbacks to wireless? Well, sure, there's always some drawbacks for connectivity. Now, I want to make this clear because this question always comes up. I haven't seen it today, but when I'm showing it, they say, oh, well, this is going to be bad for the school because it's hard to connect to the Wi-Fi for the school. You're not using the Wi-Fi of the school. The Wi-Fi is in the box. So you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi where you're at. It is a strong connection and you connect right to that. Now, if you're wanting to do Zoom or go out and be part of a presentation, as Christopher said, there's a little hub you can plug in, then yes, you're relying on what the school has for that. But to make the camera work or any of that, you're not relying on the school Wi-Fi or the Wi-Fi wherever you're at. It's the Wi-Fi that's in the box. So that's some benefits, and some drawbacks would be if you're moving the picture underneath the camera, it might be a little slower with wireless. Direct connect is always a bit faster. Direct connect, the great thing about that is you just kind of fold it up, you have it with you, it is compact. So is the other one. Sorry, that was a loud noise. But having it wired, it is faster, definitely is faster for a connection. And it's just all in one, and being able to use that other camera in the stand, that the camera that's on the iPad is wonderful when you go to split the screen. And you're going to see that in a minute when I show it live. So there's no right or wrong, but they do have some benefits, some over the other. There's two questions that came in. Someone said iOS app is free. I see it might work with an older MagniLink if hardware dongles set up HDMI to USB-C and iOS app Max with M2 chip. Not sure that I understand all of those questions on that. Someone's asking, I wish there were visual examples of the things that you were explaining. Again, if you have some more questions and you need more visual and we're not able to provide that for you as well as you need here, you can feel free to reach out to me or your reseller in your area, and they can physically bring you the products and you can try them. That might be easier to do some hands-on. Do they each have a testing mode? If you're talking about if you can take a picture of a test and fill that out online, I'll be showing you that in just a minute. I do want to talk about the software is free. So if you want to put it on your iPad or you want to put it on your iPhone, you can do that. So if you're not connected to one of our cameras, you're going to have a limited vision of what it's going to look like. Christopher, can you unplug one of the cameras so they would be able to see that the interface at the bottom does change?
Oh, okay.
So if you don't have one of our cameras connected, you're not going to have OCR. You would not have form filling. You also would not have the ability to do video and take pictures. So it's going to change the amount of icons on the bottom of the screen, and you would have less icons. So if you just went and installed it on your iPad right now or your iPhone and didn't have one of our cameras connected, that's what you would get. Can an old MagniLink camera work with current app? It depends on the age of the camera. So if you're using an MLS or if you're using a Pro or a Zip, they would have to have been manufactured November 2021 or later. And if you're not sure on that, you can contact us and then we can check the serial number and let you know. But it can, the unit depend, well, if it's too old, it can't come in and do what you're needing. But if it's within a certain age range, it can be brought in or sent into our service center, and they can update it to where it would work. So Christopher is now live on the screen where we do not have one of our cameras plugged in. And now you're only getting 5 icons. You're getting one to be able to split the screen, and you're also being able to do zoom in, zoom out. And now he's showing one with with all the icons. So you just get less options if you're using the free. I think that's the main questions. And again, if you are on here and you've never seen the products and this seems a little confusing, I do apologize, but please reach out to me or your reseller afterwards, and we can see about getting these products in your hands so you can work with them. Because I know it is a lot of information.
I just want to, I don't know if you covered that before, Kimberly, but I don't think so. There was one in the beginning saying, when using the MagniLink S with an iPad, can you plug in a dongle with multiple USB-C ports to charge the iPad and use the MagniLink S at the same time? And the answer is yes. And I actually brought one with me that I'm holding up now, which is a standard USB dongle that is working beautifully when I connect it to my iPad, and then I can connect the charger as well as the camera for the MagniLink S and use it, continue to use it while it's charging.
Christopher, can you see live? I'm looking across the street at my neighbor's house right now.
I can, yes.
Okay, so you guys, I am using the iTAB. Again, I have the distance camera, so I've got our stand, I have the iTAB, and the distance camera right now is looking across the street. And it's, I'd say, gosh, it's a ways away, because I'm looking across at a neighbor's, and I could zoom in and on their garage, and I'm looking through a screen. So that's why you're getting that screen to look, because you're looking through my window. But I just wanted to show you the distance capability of it. I'm going to now close the actual lens and come down and go to the document. Hold on 1 second. And now I'm looking at the camera underneath. So the camera that's actually on the iPad itself. And I'm looking right underneath it. And now I switch back to the distance camera. So you can have 2 cameras going back and forth. So now I'm looking at that distance camera that I was just using, but I'm looking at a document instead of looking across the street. And I can zoom in and zoom out. So let's talk about the icons that are at the bottom of the screen. So the first icon has an A, and then it also has a camera. This would take you back between OCR and live view. But right now I haven't done an OCR to show you, so we don't have the ability to go back and forth because there's nothing to go to. The second one will allow you to switch between cameras. It's got 2 cameras and it has a crooked arrow. And then the next one does allow you to split the screen. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and split the screen. So now I'm looking at my document underneath, and I'm using the distance camera to also be able to look at another document. And I have the ability to be able to move that over. So I'm just using my finger and dragging on the screen. So I'm making one bigger than the other. So it's really easy to be able to change that split. There's also buttons that allow you to make the split be either horizontal or vertical, or you can change the side. Like I right now have the distance camera on the left and the camera underneath on the right. So there's no right or wrong. It's just how you prefer it. So right now I'm just going to use the distance camera, and I'm going to go through a few of the different choices. One thing I didn't mention, when you've got it where you're going to split the screen, you can turn on the iPad camera, light. It's built into the software. So I just hit the light bulb and turned it on to 100%. So that's now bright underneath, because I turned the lights off in my room because I've got overhead lights and it was causing some shadowing effect. All right, so we are now looking at the distance camera, but I'm using it for document viewing right now. I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to move over minus and plus, of course, make it bigger and smaller. And I also can do OCR. So I'm going to hit the OCR button.
Development and construction. Your new video magnifier is developed with you.
Okay, so it started reading to you. I don't know if you noticed, but it's really fast. And very accurate. It just does a great job. You have the ability to also change when you're in this. Right now, I've got a bright white background with black letters, but you can change the color. But I wanted you to notice off to the side, the left-hand side, there's a column that goes up and down. This keeps, basically, if I took another picture of something else, it would then put that below that. So you can OCR several different pages and then just touch the one that you want to work on, which is nice. And if you don't want that, you can make that go away, which would give you a bigger area on the screen to show your OCR'd image. To do that, I would go to the second icon from the bottom. It looks like a little file folder with a piece of paper sticking out of it. And I just touch that. And then I touch the first icon, which has 3 lines, and then that goes away. So now I have more of an image, but it is kind of nice to be able to have that there. I have a lot of people that really like that because of the fact that they love to be able to scan a bunch of stuff in and then be able to go back and forth between the things that they scanned in. If you want to change the color, so I'm now on the icons at the bottom are now different. They are actually set up for OCR. So going from left to right, we have the A with the camera, which that allows you to go back and forth between live view and OCR view. Then the next one over, we have the little file folder that we brought up a little bit ago. We have the ability to save the document. So if I go in here and I say I want to save it, the third icon over is a picture of like a little floppy drive. And it comes up when I hit that and it asks me, do you want it to be PDF? Do you want it to be a zip file or RTF? RTF stands for Rich Text Format. And that means that you could now pull this up in Word and be able to use it. You could pull it up in WordPad, whatever file format you want to pull it up in, you're going to be able to do that. So I'm going to pick PDF. And as soon as I do that, it brings it up to where I now can save it either in iCloud, I can save it in a certain folder, and I can put it wherever I want it to be. So it's very simple to save a file. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to save it. I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to come back down. So we've covered the A, that takes you back and forth between live view and OCR view. We covered the little file folder. Of course, I can start it reading again by starting
as our user and technology and focus by.
You can also jump back and forth in the document. You can jump word at a time, character, you can do sentence, and you have the ability to change that as well, which you want it to jump. So that's what the rewind and fast forward do. And then the next one over, you have the wrench with the A. I'm going to tap that. This is where you can make the text bigger. I'm hitting the capital A, the largest one over on the, so there's 4 icons. So the one that's to the furthest on the right, then the smaller A makes it smaller. You also can touch, it looks like a mountain, and that will change it. Now I'm in, it's kind of like ticker tape. It's one line going
in
across.
Sweden. Our own software and image improving techniques ensures that you.
For people that really want to follow it along, sometimes it's easier to even just have one word on the screen.
Get the best image quality on the market.
That's an option as well. So there's 7 different views how you can look at the document. You can actually look at the text. And if I go into there to look at the text, I might want to now change the contrast to less so I can see the wording more. And now I can touch on the screen and be able to move around in the document. However, I could touch up at the first box or the different areas on the screen. Oops. And then you can have the line underneath it while it's reading.
Production and quality since 1978. All of our video magnifiers are also produced by LVI in Sweden.
So that's part of the 7 different views that you can see. Now we can go back to the full, ticker tape, or Word. So I've covered everything in here. The next one over is how you can change the colors. So I can change it to black background with white letters. I could go bright yellow. There's all the color combinations. And I'm going to go into the settings in just a minute and show you how you can customize that. So the last icon when you're in OCR, it looks like a gear. It's the very last one over. So it's the 8th one. And I'm going to tap that. When I do that, it brings up the interface, and that interface now allows you to look at the version that you're running. The current version is 2.5. I can also go into application where I can limit the recording time, the length, and you can set everything to the default settings. If you go in and play with it, don't worry, you're not going to mess it up. You have the ability to change everything back to default. Every menu has the choice to go back to default, which is really nice because that gives you the ability to, I'm sorry, I'm looking at time just to see where I'm at, but it gives you the ability to make changes and not worry about breaking anything. In here, you can also change the voice. If you don't like a female voice, you could change it to a male voice. You can change the volume and the speech rate, and there's hotkeys and gestures to do all these things as well. But you can go in here and change the font. So once you do OCR, you can say, I don't want it to be this font. I want it to be, and I touch the button and a whole bunch of font choices come up. And then you can hit it for default as well. All of the gestures are listed. So I now touch gesture on the left-hand side, and every single gesture is here, and you have the ability to turn them on or off. You cannot change a gesture. You cannot say, well, I prefer switch view. Instead of being double tap with 2 fingers, I want it to be double tap with 1 finger. That's not something that you can do, but you can turn them on and off. And there's also a default at the bottom. There are shortcuts. So if you're wanting to use a keyboard, we don't ship with a keyboard. That's a little different with our tab product, the Microsoft Surface Pro Tab product. We do ship with a keyboard. With this, we do not. But a lot of people have keyboards already for their iPads. So there's all the options there. I do want to go into EUC, which stands for End User Configuration. This is very unique to this product. We don't have this in any of our products. I've already had some people ask me if we're going to backfill this and put it in the tab product, and that's a possibility. But we have it set up where you can customize every camera and function. So if you're wanting to change the distance camera and say, I only want it to be able to see, I'm going to take off a bunch of the colors. So I only want it to be able to see black on white, white on black, or yellow on black, black on yellow. You have that ability. But now if I go into OCR, I've got all the full colors, unless again, I want to customize a color. So I held on the color and it brought up a color chart, and I do have the ability to change the colors. So we have the main color schemes that is very popular for people that want high contrast colors, but maybe you have a person or you yourself see certain color contrasts better. You can go in here and change it to the contrast level that you prefer. Or I should say contrast colors. So you can customize each one, which is really cool. You could have the front camera be different than the rear camera, etc. So you're able to customize each of these individually. And a lot of people have really liked that. They think that that's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to go back out of here, and I'm going to go back to live view, and I'm going to actually fill out a document. So I now am using the distance camera that comes with it, but I'm using it over a document. So of course I could handwrite. That's an option. I could handwrite right on the document. That would be an option, but it's really cool to be able to fill it out on the screen. And I think that's what somebody was asking me about a little bit ago. So I'm going to actually go over to the 6th icon over. It's got a picture of a camera and a video camera. It's right. So then to the left of it's the OCR, and then to the right of it is an icon we have not covered with the eyeball and the wrench. And I'm going to touch that. It brings a pop-up menu, which has a camera, a video camera, and it looks like a sheet of paper with almost like a little paintbrush on it. Of course, with the camera, I could take a picture of this, or you could take a picture of anything in the area that you're at. I always tell people, get permission, make sure you've got permission if it's a classroom setting or even at work. You know, maybe somebody doesn't want their picture taken, or if they're presenting, they don't want that on camera. So you should get permission, but you can take pictures and video once you have that. But I'm going to go to the 3rd icon over, which allows you to actually fill this particular form out. So I'm going to touch it with my finger. It takes a picture of it. Again, you get the same thing that you get with OCR. On the left-hand column, it opens up an area and has in a small little kind of like a snapshot of what you took a picture of, because you might want to take a picture and be filling out 4 different forms at one time. And this gives you the ability to do that. So down at the bottom of the screen, we have a bunch of icons. I'm going to touch the magnifying glass, which then allows me to make the actual image bigger. Once I have it the size that I like it, I'm going to touch the pen. The pen right now, because I was playing with it and doing some stuff, it's set for red, but I'm going to change it to black. I can change the thickness by going back and forth on the scroll bar. I'm going to make it a little thinner, and then I'm going to close that and come back to the document. So now it says name. I can handwrite my name on the screen. I'm not using a stylus. I'm just using my finger, but you, of course, can use a stylus. And I've had people say, can you, I think it's called the Apple Pen or whatever comes. Yes, all of that works. I just was using my finger because I didn't happen to grab a stylus this morning. If I wanted to erase that because it's kind of messy, I go to the eraser, and now wherever I touch, it's going to erase it. I also have the ability to type on the screen. So I'm going to touch where it has the big A and the smaller A. And I'm going to hold on that. It allows me to change the size of the text that I'm going to type, and of course the color as well. So I'm going to make it a little smaller, and then I'm going to come and start typing. So I touch the screen. It brings up the on-screen keyboard, but if you're using a keyboard, you can use that keyboard if you don't want to use the on-screen. I just don't have a keyboard hooked up. To get rid of the keyboard, down on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a picture of a keyboard. You just touch that. Now I can grab my name and I can move it anywhere on the form. I want to go back to the pen because now I want to check the boxes. We're going to say I'm a TBI, and then I want to come back down to where the school and the agency area is, and I want to type again. I just touch that and I can start typing. I'm just going to say the name of my middle school that I went to, which was Granada. And then I'm going to get out of here. And again, I can now, whoops, go away, and I can move it wherever I want. And if somebody was studying for a test or something like that, they have the ability to highlight as well. So I'm going to highlight. You can do that with different colors as well. On here. Stop. Why does this keep coming up? Did it not grab the highlight? Oh, because I keep going to typing. I apologize. I meant to make that a different color. There we go. So then, of course, I can save the document as well. So I can go in here. Do I want it to be a JPEG or a PDF? And now I save it. Okay, perfect. Okay, I do want to mention we have another webinar coming up in March, and we'll be showing the MagniLink Vision. Those of you that are familiar with the Vision, we've had it out for a little while with a 23-inch screen. We now have 2 new visions. We have a 24 and a 27-inch vision, but they are quite a bit different than the other one because the screen is very, very thin. The exciting thing is of course, with us, we always try to have great cameras and we try to go as lightweight as possible. So even that 27-inch vision weighs right around what the 23 did, or a little bit less. It's under 29 pounds for a 27-inch, and it's extremely thin, lightweight. It's got the handles in the back, and you can get it with or without text to speech. But we'll be doing some talking about the difference, like why would somebody choose the Vision over the Voice? Because we have a product called the Voice, which is a great product. That product does not have a monitor with it. It's mainly a reader. It's a system that someone can carry around quite easily. It's very lightweight, but if you want to plug it into a monitor, you can do that as well. So we'll be talking about the differences and showing off the new 24 and 27-inch vision. So if you want to register for that, it is up and ready to go. It's Thursday, March 28th at 1 o'clock. And you can register for any of our webinars at www.lviamerica.com/webinar. And I know some of you were looking for ACB credits. I already put the opening code. I'll put the closing code in just a second. But you would actually reach out to us at acvrep@lviamerica.com. You put the entrance and the exit code, and then you will hear back from Catherine, which you'll see her picture in just a minute, and she will send you a link to the form that you need to fill out. Once we receive the form, she will send you your certificate for the ACV REP credits, and I'll put the ending code in just a minute. We thank you so much for coming today. The first picture is of Christopher. Christopher, of course, is in Sweden, and you can reach out to him with email. It's Christopher, it's CHRISTOFER.Caswell, CASSWALL @LVI, which is Low Vision International, LVI.SE. I'm Kimberly Klein, and you can reach me at Kimberly Klein @lviamerica.com. It's Kimberly, KMBERLY and then my last name is Klein @lviamerica.com. Or you can call me or text me at 702-468-6611. And Catherine, who put this PowerPoint together, who handles all of our ACB REPs and makes all of us look good all the time behind the scenes, is Catherine Trombley. And you can reach Catherine at Catherine, which is CATHERINE.Trombley, TROMBLEY @lviamerica.com. And she's 802-236-4404. Both Catherine and I, that's our cell number. So feel free to call us or text us.